Hello, welcome to another tonal landscape oil painting demonstration. This is your painter in residence, M. Francis McCarthy, and the painting I'm bringing you today is called Tree by the Sea. It's a circle. I should probably give it another number because I've done a lot of Tree by Seas. We'll call it Tree by the Sea number 20. Um, okay, so I've been doing these. These are little kind of like tourist items that I do sometimes, and they go pretty quick. This one it's in the members area, and I welcome you to check it out. There, it's going to be a little over an hour, and I don't want it to take too long. The whole idea behind this is that we have a unique original miniature painting. Now, I can't sell that for $400. Maybe I could if I was super famous, but no, I'll get a decent amount for it. You know, 100 something, because it is a beautiful, small, original, one of a kind, and affordable. That's affordable. Yeah, definitely. And what I love about painting is that you painting in real life, as opposed to say digitally, is that you get an artifact. You get something that people can own and sell and use to enjoy their lives, right? Um, this is where we're going to end up as artists, and that's maybe more than a few of you have figured this out. Maybe that's why you're here and you want to paint. Maybe you've played around on your iPads and things. Now, I'm not dissing any of that. You can do incredible work digitally. I did for years, from '94 through at least 2006 or 7. That was my primary way of working. I would do pen and inks or brush and ink work outside the computer, scan that in, and then color it in the computer. Or sometimes just create work 100% in the computer. But the problem with that, ultimately, everything that comes out of a computer is going to be flat. It's going to be printed. You can spend a lot of money printing it or a little money printing it, but it's a reproduction. It's not one of a kind. It can never be one of a kind, even if someone says it's a fungible token. Well, what does that mean? Well, the image is locked in a secret vault. Well, but what's it look like? Well, it looks like this. Oh, well, the image isn't in the secret vault. Yeah, so funny. Anyway, we are working on it's an acacia round. I'm very excited about this. I usually do these on MDF, and people always ask, are they coasters? And that's because, yeah, they're craft coasters, and I paint on them. And this is too, although this is designed to kind of just be on its own. It's a beautiful piece of wood. Now, I could have painted on the wood itself, and I have done before, and that does look okay, but this wood has a bit of streakage in it. Very beautiful. And so what I'm doing is I have taped around the outside with some masking tape. And then I prepped it with my regular house paint. So the house paint's kind of dialed into sort of a burnt sienna meets raw umber kind of thing. And I have a lot of good success with that. It's sort of reddish, but not too red. And that gives me, now it does have a little bit of a texture, which I found quite pleasant. I really enjoy painting on wood as long as the grain isn't too deep or too long. If it's too deep or too long, it's sort of distracting. But this was a big win for me. They were fairly inexpensive, and they're going to be more deluxe than the MDF ones because they're a lot thicker. They're, say, like a half-inch thick. Very beautiful. And yeah, quite stoked about this painting actually too. So let's talk a bit about what I did here. So these are first of all, if you're interested in doing miniatures, it's all about simplification. You really don't. Once long ago when I was on Facebook, there is a guy there that does beautiful miniatures that are like exact reproductions of Hudson River painters. Okay, and they're incredibly detailed. And he uses I reached out to him. I said, "What kind of brush are you using?" Tiny brush, you know. Yeah, so and that's all good. That maybe is something you want to do. You could paint angels on the heads of pins and things, and that's all good. That's not what I'm doing though. I'm using a fairly small brush. That's a two right there, and that's a DOS bristle. I think it's a filbert. It's been worn in a bit, and it's doing a good job for me. Uh, I would like to go maybe even smaller, but the hog's bristles only go down to like a zero, and I do use the zero predominantly for the darks coming up and the greens and things like that. So I have a image composited and it's in a circle. You can see that in the members area, and not only that, but it's like there's an image of it coming up now prior to the rest of the video kicking in. And there's always a session where I'm talking about what I see as the challenges with the reference. And in the back of my brain, I've been playing with wanting to do like a series of videos focusing on composition because it is so important. I'm always saying every aspect of painting is important. The brushwork's got to be right. The color has to be good. The values need to be where they have got to be. It has to be well designed, and that's what composition is, well designed. Oh, hey, the book. Now, I have a section in the book on composition, but I'm just touching on it. It's a vast subject. And unfortunately, I think the best way to learn composition is through what I would call negative learning, which is you do things and they don't work out, and you know that doesn't work out for that particular type of thing you're trying to do. But that said, I've given a lot of thought to setting up some rules, and some things I know for sure always seem to work. And the thing is, like any rule you have is always going to change based on the scene itself. Every scene's a bit different, so it's not like you can bring canned options to things. But let's talk about this painting here. So with this sort of thing, you really wouldn't want that tree off to the side unless you had a scene of a lot of interest in the distant area. And then if it's going to be a scene in the distant area, then I'm going to need to start breaking out those sable brushes. And I don't like painting with sable brushes, at least not with oil paint. Um, so that's kind of out. That's out for me. I want to make like every painting I do, I want to make an expressive, sort of gestural take on the scene that is immediate and expressive. And that's when I'm about small, and that's when I'm about big. Um, so we can't put the tree up to the side, but so we basically it becomes like what I call a tree portrait. Now this has two trees in it, although I'm treating them as one. They're connected, and I'm really quite stoked with the way I chose to connect them. Now I do give it some thought, but I'll be honest with you. Um, I don't give this process too much thought. I probably spent about a half hour or longer setting up the scene, and I made a lot of changes here, and I always do. In fact, to the point where, I will use the same sky in the reference image or the same cliff or things like that because I know I'm always going to paint it somewhat differently, especially at these very small sizes. So you don't have room to get really into the lots of detail and things, and unless you're working with real small sable brushes, that's not what we're doing. We're making an expressive little miniature painting, and well, I'm pretty happy with it. Now the trees. This is the kind of a coastal cypress, and I love painting the coastal cypress. I love painting every tree. Every tree will present its own sort of unique challenges. And there, what I would say is, oh, I have a big tip for you. Well, if you've made it this far, God bless you, and you're a faithful viewer. So let's lay some tips you can use, and this kind of thing you would hear in the members area a bit, because I wasn't always doing this. We're talking about trees. So here, For years, I don't know how you're doing it, but for years I'd start from the trunk and just go up from there. And then a lot of times find that, maybe I'm running out of room or things are a little weird or whatever. But the best thing to do with your tree is know where you basically want that trunk to hit. But you want to work with the shape. You want to get the shape. And if you looked at the earlier part of this video, you could see how I'm kind of sketching in with my brush the loose shape. You want that shape to be really nice, interesting, not too round, not too square, not too many bumps. You've got to have interest, and you don't want to have too much repetition. Like here, I might have even run into a bit of that 1 2 3 off on the top bit, but it's fine. I think it's fine. Um, I could criticize all day. But then from there, a lot of times you could work with just fill that in as basically as a silhouette, not a super dark silhouette. You don't want to remove a ton of paint. And a lot of times what you can do to start putting in your lighter masses is you can come in with the swap. You'll see me do that. Or I have a really good sense from the reference what areas I want to leave light. Um, but I'm always changing what's in the reference. And this is one reason why for these sorts of little paintings, I might even use the same tree. I'll flip it. It'll have a different feel. Maybe I'll change the cliff. Let's talk just a little about the cliff. I ended up see that light patch in the middle. That was taking on too much prominence, I thought. So I come in later and reduce that because it's so large. It's like you're thinking, what is that? Is that something that I should care about? And the main thing is like I didn't really want to work this cliff out. I had some gestural sort of strokes made in the drawing stage. Of course, I have the reference to look at, but what I'm trying to do is work some tans against some cooler grays, which ended up looking really purplish. I'm actually wondering if I put purple in, or it could just been maybe a bit of rose madder or something, and then that bit of green down there I think really makes it. It really adds a lot of balance, and I think this is a very well designed picture. I have some larger circles. I may even paint that bigger. But one thing I do, just another tip, when I composite these things, I make sure not to lock myself into that circle forever, because I do a heck of a lot more rectangular paintings than I do circular paintings. But the more circle paintings I'm doing, the more I really do enjoy it. I enjoy being working off that circular edge. And that's the last thing I might point out. We have just a minute. It's like where that tree, how close it comes to the edge, the amount of space left, that is really the critical bit of design here. And so after I put in that shape, what I do is just bring the trunks down to meet the spot where I know the trunk needs to hit. That makes things a lot easier. Try that next time you're trying to paint a tree. And you might find that it goes a bit easier for you. Anyway, that's it for this video. Take good care. Stay out of trouble. God bless you and your family. Fight the power.